You're watching Moms Matter virtual episode at Ever Talk TV. And I have Nik Toth, a holistic nutritionist and an expert weight loss management who has joined us all the way from Thailand virtually. So excited to have you on the show.
So excited to be here.
So we have all been struggling being home 24/7. We're reaching for the pantry, we're reaching for food in the fridge. It's like nonstop. What are some tips you can share with our viewers on how we can make some healthy food choices?
Well, firstly, the important thing is to look at why we're not making the healthy food choices, right? Especially if we know what the healthy food choices are. It's one thing when someone doesn't know what they should be eating, but I think generally speaking, we all know we should be eating more vegetables, more fruit, less processed food, more lean protein or plant-based sources of protein, green juices over coffee, Starbucks, and, lattes. So we can we all agree on that? We kind of know what to do, right?
Right.
Right. But the problem is when we don't do what we think we could do or should do, and we do something else instead, and we feel bad about it, we self-sabotage, and then we have this guilt trip happening that is sending us down on this downward spiral.
100%.
Yeah, so it's a time when you're maybe procrastinating on something, or you're bored, or you're not comfortable with something, or some feelings come up. Maybe you're stressed, maybe you're overwhelmed, maybe your kids are getting on your nerves, maybe there's a laundry piling up and you gotta get your work done. There's a lot happening, right? And in a state of overwhelm, we instantly looking for an instant gratification, a quick fix to get out of the pain.
100%.
So firstly, the most important thing is to look at what is the pain that you're trying to get away from. So what is your so-called pain that you're moving or trying to move away from, and the pleasure that you're trying to move towards. So, for example, can you give me an example of like one of your sort of pain points or pain things that you're experiencing throughout the day, where you're feeling this sense like, I just want to eat something, like whatever it is, right? Can you give me an example of that?
Well, I think right now with COVID, a lot of us are feeling anxious. And so, those of us who are mothers at night, everyone's quiet and gone. So we'll turn on Netflix and we'll just reach for something salty or sweet and just kind of nibble. And it's not mindful eating, but we're just, passing the time. And you're like, oh, and then afterwards you're done like, why did I just do that?
Yeah. So it's from what I'm hearing, it's about escape. Right?
Sure.
So getting clear on what is it that I'm trying to escape? What is it that I'm not, comfortable with? What is the feeling that's actually coming up? So in that time when you actually want to numb yourself, or you want to reach for this external, instant gratification, whether it's Netflix, whether it's a bag of popcorn, whether it's an extra coffee or some chocolate, whatever it is, it's actually super important, especially if you're mom, especially if you're doing a million things in a day, to actually cultivate some time to be with yourself and ground. Because when we're ungrounded and we're just kind of rushing and not getting things done, because the to-do list is never ending, right?
Right.
We're actually looking for grounding. And food can be extremely grounding because instantly we feel connected. You put something in your mouth and you feel connected. You feel, you taste the chocolate, or you have the popcorn or whatever it is going on. You're feeling connected instantly. So in that moment, you're experiencing this calm, this bliss, this connection. And the connection to ourselves or something higher is what so many women are really seeking and looking for, but they're not ever having the chance to experience it because they're not making any time for solitude.
So what I'm hearing for you is that we're reaching for bad food because we're not taking care of ourselves properly throughout the day.
Yeah, I would say so. And self-care will look very different to everybody. Self-care could be 5 minutes a day of sitting in meditation, or saying a prayer if you're religious, or sitting with a candle and just literally, take it in the scent, or sitting with a cup of coffee and literally just doing nothing but being present with yourself or with the moment or whatever is going on. It could look like a 2-hour morning routine, including 45 minutes of exercise, 20-minute meditation, preparing your breakfast, your green juice, whatever that looks like for you is different for everybody. But it's important to have something where you're really just focusing on you, whether it's 5 minutes, 25 minutes, or an hour and a half.
Right. And I think the beautiful part and the silver lining in all of this crisis is that I think a lot of people are starting to do some more self-care and really finding some time to do things for themselves. But even with that, even when you find the time to do something for yourself, you're not always making the right food choices, right? And you're still having those bad cravings. So what do we do when we have those bad cravings? Are there any foods we can be eating to help curb that?
I can approach this in two different ways, right? Because I could tell you all the foods that you should be eating to avoid cravings. When you start eating more vegetables, more green juices, less sugar, generally speaking, less processed foods, and more whole foods, you're gonna start craving more whole foods. But you can go online and you can talk about this and you can read about this and you can literally read millions of articles. People still don't do it.
Right.
Because there's an emotional drive for why we're not making those choices in the moment, because a green juice is not really an escape from your stress that you're experiencing in the moment. So the important thing is actually getting really clear on what is the emotion that's coming up for you when you're about to reach for that second cup of coffee, when you're about to reach for the second bag of popcorn that you don't really need, or the extra piece of chocolate that, it's like kind of excess, right? We're not talking about one square of dark chocolate. We're talking about, bags of Hershey's and whatever it is that, people, chocolate chip cookies or whatever it is. So really it's getting clear on what's the emotion that I'm experiencing right now. Am I anxious? Am I just tired and overwhelmed? Am I exhausted? Am I uncertain? Am I feeling fear? So get really, really clear and maybe journal about it or talk to someone about it, because it's incredibly powerful to just give it a voice and acknowledge that it's there.
Do you do you recommend that we actually stop, like pause, if we're about to grab the bag of chips or the chocolates or whatever it is? Do you recommend that we pause and stop for a moment and actually think about why we're doing it?
100%. So the process that I teach my clients is to stop for a moment, tune in. It really helps if you even place one hand on your heart or on your heart and your belly, just to really connect with your body and really ask, what is going on for me right now? My kids getting on my nerves? Am I worried about finances? Am I worried about putting on weight? Like, what is actually going on? And get really clear on that. And just pause for a moment and take 5 breaths, just even 5 deep belly breaths. So breathing into your nose and sending that breath into your diaphragm, into your belly, instead of breathing into your chest, which is what we do when we're stressed and anxious. So just by doing these 5 belly breaths or deep belly breaths, you can actually change from being in the sympathetic nervous system state, which is our stress and our fight or flight state, to the parasympathetic nervous system state, which is a little bit more calm. Our digestion kicks in. We're actually not producing stress hormones. So this is the state we want to be operating from most of the time. But a lot of people are operating right here. So this is what's actually causing the excess eating, making the wrong food choices most of the time.
Do you consider alcohol a part of those bad food choices? When we grab a glass of wine to unwind in the evening, or have a cocktail. Do you put that in the same category?
Depends on the circumstances, right? If it's something that you're using every day at the end of the day to wind down, obviously the choice, then it's going to be. If every now and again you're going out with your friends and you're going to have a drink, of course, that's not the same thing as using alcohol as a coping mechanism to relax at the end of the day. Because a lot of women, especially busy women and moms who also work and taking care of kids and families, they're overwhelmed, they're stressed, they're in this state of stress. So in the morning, they wake up tired, not sleeping well, so they get a cup of coffee to perk up, right? So they're increasing their stress hormones already. And they're going through the day, they're exposed to more stress and stimulus and more caffeine most of the time. And at the end of the day, it's really difficult to wind down because they're producing this stress all throughout the day. So they're looking for a downer or something grounding to bring them back to this state of relaxation. But wine, or any type of alcohol is not actually going to be conducive to good sleep. It's not actually going to fix your problems. It's not actually necessarily going to be relaxing you. It's just going to put pressure on your liver. It's going to mess with your metabolism. It's going to slow down your metabolism for 72 hours after you have eaten whatever that meal was. So the processing of that meal is going to be delayed. It's going to pressure on put pressure on your liver. So it's actually going to be long term or on the back end kind of causing more harm than the temporary fixation of feeling good or escaping.
So what I'm hearing from you is that we need to make sure that we're doing something for ourselves every day, doing some self-care, making sure to tap into that. And before we're about to make those bad choices, reaching for the chocolate or the chips, is to take the 5 breaths, because then we'll move into a different mode and we'll slow down our system.
Yes. And also just when you think about it, like I have a cool course on it, right? So it's like an emotional eating mastery. Well, what I teach is stop, pause, and just observe and check in with your body what's going on. Make sure the plan for you to eat the chocolate or eat the cookie or whatever it is still there. It's not going anywhere. We're not going to take it away from you, but we're introducing another option. In the moment, maybe you take the 5 breaths and you realize, actually, I'm just freaking trying to escape reading the 100 emails that are sitting in my inbox that I have to take care of, or the accounting that I have to do for my business or for my husband or for, whatever may be going on, right? That maybe you actually start to get in tune with yourself as to what is actually going on for you and what's out of alignment in your life. So you can start fixing or having a look at what is out of alignment. And once you're in alignment, you're going to eat well. You're going to make the right food choices. You're not going to need 3 coffee, and you're not going to need wine every single night, or at least not a bottle to wind down. Because you're going to be in alignment, you're going to be in flow, you're going to be feeling good about yourself and good about life. So you will start doing the right things for your body, which is the only, amazing body that you've got in this lifetime.
That's right. So what happens ultimately, and what are some signs that we should be looking for within our own body when we know we've reached a point that we need to detox?
Yeah, good question. So let's talk about the physiological body, because right now I talked a lot about the emotional side, which I would say is probably about 80%.
Right.
But let's talk about the physiological symptoms. So women who experience headaches, food intolerance, tiredness, fatigue all the time, not being able to think clearly, this feeling of like I'm just constantly like foggy in the head, irritability, so mood swings, digestive complaints, anything along the lines of bloating, feeling discomfort after meals, like not being able to digest food, or constipation is a huge sign. And also, the tiredness is a really, really big one, because if your body is not producing energy, there's something to look at there, because your body should be naturally producing energy, right? And also, if you're constipated, your body is not eliminating toxins or not eliminating the things that are not belonging to your body. Because every 12 hours after you've eaten, after about 12 hours, whatever you've eaten, your body should be absorbing the nutrients, processing that food, and eliminate what's not belonging to your body, what's not needed. If that's not happening at least once a day, you are considered constipated, and you are reabsorbing your toxins or those toxins in through your blood. And that's a big problem, because it's putting a lot of pressure on your liver, slowing down your metabolism, and making you feel sick and unwell.
So I know you specialize in detoxes, but what does it look like?
So there's various different types of detoxes that I do. When I'm coaching with someone one-on-one, I do anywhere from 4 to 6 week detox with them using herbs and supplements and things that bind with these substances, and they get eliminated via your kidneys, your urine, your sweat, all kinds of different things. But I do as simple things as a 10-day detox, which is an online program that I have, where I take women through the steps of the mind detox and the body detox. Because while you're detoxing, a lot of emotional stuff is going to come up, right? If you ever tried fasting for a day, or if you ever tried going on a juice cleanse, or if you even ever tried going for food without 8 hours, you're going to get cranky. You're going to have a lot of emotions come up. So those emotions we can actually use and identify and kind of work through those emotions, and it's important that we do while we're detoxing. So the steps that I take women through is the first couple of days we do a reset. So in this reset, it's plant-based food. I'm not making anyone fast, because I don't believe that it's right for everybody, especially if you're a woman who's stressed or a man who's stressed. You're not going to do very well fasting. And even juice cleansing, when you're already tired, you can't afford to be any more tired. As a mom, you know, and you have to take care of a million things. So it's more about introducing plant-based foods, eliminating meat, eliminate fish, eliminate any animal products for the first couple of days, and doing a reset with light meals, but you're still eating. So women experience at least like even 1 or 2 kilos of loss in the first couple of days of doing this sort of kickstart. And then when they start feeling lighter and they can button my pants in and they start feeling good, they're gonna want to do some yoga, some natural movement, some things, because they're gonna feel motivated. But it's not about exercising or trying to get your body to burn fat here. It's really about removing the foods that are putting a load and a burden on your digestive system and liver, and introducing foods that are going to help your body detoxify naturally, like lots of lemon, alkaline foods, some herbs like parsley, coriander, things that you can cook with and that are delicious, and you can still enjoy and help your body.
Incredible. Before we leave you, I want to know if we were all to start a detox and clean our bodies out and then revert to the way that we were eating, is that detox then pointless?
No, it's not pointless. If you think about it, we're constantly retoxing, right? Every day we're retoxing. Everything you touch, you got to understand, it's not just about what you put in your mouth, but it's about what you put on your skin or what you touch. So every cleaning product that's not organic and not made of plant material, every skincare product that you're using, anything that you touch with your hands is about 70% absorbed through your skin. So we are constantly exposed to chemicals, cleaning products, skincare, and makeup. And those things are also putting a burden on our bodies. Not to mention pesticides on non-organic food. Not to mention food chemicals, preservatives, all the things that we don't see and we might not even read on a label because we don't actually even think about it, but they all get into our bodies. So we want to be really careful about eliminating those for a little while because we are constantly detoxing, and then doing a bit of a kickstart, jumpstart detox every quarter or at least twice a year.
All right. So it sounds like what we gathered from you is that if we've got those signs, we're going to detox. We can reach out to you because you have a great program. And before we reach for that bag of chips tonight, we're going to take 5 breaths. And tomorrow, we're all going to make sure that we do something for ourselves in the form of self-care. I love that. Yeah. I'm so grateful to you. Everybody who's watching, this is the Lean Body Coach, Nik Toth. Thank you so much for joining us today on Moms Matter. And we'll see you all next time right here at EverTalk TV. But don't leave.